Hello. Hello, folks.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me.
We have people joining us?
Yes, we do.
Are they all in? Let me know when I should get started.
Oh, man.
I see Yannicka. I see Ryan King.
Cool. Hi,
Who
Ryan.
else we
Lucy,
got?
Carissa,
Hello.
Yannicka, John,
Maria.
Lesley.
Nice.
Got some people up in here. All right.
Well, we'll get started or wait a little bit for people to join.
Why don't you get started?
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our webinar. Today, we're going to be going over, is a team right for you? And talking about like advantages and benefits of joining a team and just chatting through that and personal experiences. To start out, we'll introduce the team. So my name is Kayla Pratt. I'm the Director of Client and Agent Relations. I started out as a transaction coordinator, doing like contracts management and listing management. And now, 2.5 years later, I do more so sales, operations, as well as recruiting. So I really enjoyed my experience. Next up, Mr. Bernie.
I'm Clay Bernie Real Estate Group. I'm the founder guy that's been around forever. I do a lot of the listings and just guiding the team through our growth and what's next, and keeping up with the things and the models that everybody are doing around the country and the world that we can continue to implement. And I'm really excited that y'all are here.
My name is Stephanie. I'm the Director of Operations for the team. I've been working with Clay for, I think it's a little over 6 years now. And I work on the operations and administrative side of the business, taking care of everything, from client care and transaction coordination and listing management to developing tools and systems for the agents to use.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Hear me.
She's amazing. Yes. As well as like coaching agents and dealing with high emotions and, all of those things. So my name's Lesley. I am the senior buyer agent for the Bernie Real Estate Group. I have been on the team for about 1.5 years. I started out as an ISA and moved into sales role. And I love it.
Awesome. I guess I'll go. I'm Nathan. I work on the buyers team as well with Lesley, who does a fantastic job at helping and supporting us on this side. I've been with the team for over 2 months now. It's been an amazing experience so far. I have been very busy, which is a great thing. And I'm going to have to leave this meeting early because I'm going to show some houses to a few different clients this afternoon. So, good problem to have.
Great problem to have. Hi, my name is John. I am also on the buyer team with Lesley, Nathan, and Matthew. I have been with the Bernie Group for about 1.5 months now. Some days feels like less, some days feels like more. It's been an awesome learning experience. It's a great way to jump into a real estate career. Really grateful to the whole team for how much I've learned so far, and the preview I've seen of all the things I'm going to be learning here in the near future.
My name's Matthew. I am the newest member of the buyer team with everybody else. I've been here for about 3 weeks. I've learned a lot so far and continuing to learn every day. So I'm very excited to be here. The team's awesome.
Great. And then we also have Bailey. Clay, is Bailey joining us today or no?
Nope. She's got some classes and things going on.
She goes, she's an upperclassman at UT, and so she helps the team with marketing. I think she's our marketing and content manager, and I think that's her title. So she's a wonderful
Her official title.
She's a wonderful asset to the team. And then also just wanted to remind you guys during the webinar, if you have any questions or comments on the topic that we're speaking about, just run those through the little chat box, and Stephanie will share those questions during the time. At the very end, we'll do like a Q&A section where everybody can just kind of. And then we'd like to introduce our partners. If they're with us today, is Jenny and Miriam on the webinar?
They've not joined us yet. Sometimes they join us a little late.
Yeah, come in a little bit later.
Awesome. Well, they may have the opportunity to introduce themselves a little bit later, but those are our key partners. Austin Title is our go-to title company, and then Miriam Hinson is amazing too with Home Warranty of America. Okay, so our goals for today, again, are just to help you understand which path is right for you. Joining a real estate team or becoming a solo agent. I know a lot of you guys are recently licensed and trying to figure out which path is going to be best for you. So we're just here to help navigate that a little bit by sharing some advantages and benefits to joining a team, including leverage, people, systems, tools, leads. We'll go over training, support, encouragement, accountability, and also just other components like surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals. And it gives you the ability to focus on your strengths and what you really love to do. And also at the end of the day, it's fun. It's fun to work with a group of people who are all aiming towards the same goals versus just having to go it alone. All right, so before we get started, just again, since a lot of you guys are newly licensed, wanted to break it down and make sure everyone understands what the difference is between a realtor, broker / brokerage, and then a solo agent versus a team. Since Clay is our team leader / broker for Bernie Real Estate Group, I'll have him explain that to you guys, break it down a little bit.
Yeah. Realtor, some of you guys that just got out of school could probably answer these questions better than I can, because I took my real estate license in 98 or 99 maybe, and broker like in 2010. But a realtor, you have a license to help people buy and sell real estate, and you need a broker to hold your license. And a broker is you can be a broker and then just act as a realtor and have a broker. I'm gonna overcomplicate this. So, and then a broker is like Compass or Keller Williams or whatever. They're like the boss or like the main person, and then the realtors work underneath them. So like in a team situation, you would have like the broker would be like Gene Grubb, and then you would have like, and then everybody else is a realtors. And then when you go to a team, it's like this faux broker, but they're still just the main broker of the office. I'm doing a terrible job of explaining it. It's probably, I mean, I always say the broker is like the umbrella insurance for something, and then the agents are they're just the agents. You guys are the ones on the streets and in the trenches. The brokers just kind of sit in the office and answer questions. You can get into, and then also as you get some experience, you can get in Texas. This is why I got the broker licenses. You can create an S Corp LLC, and that helps with like self-employment tax and some tax structures and things like that in the state of Texas. But that you have to get your broker's license before you can start fooling with all that. I recommend it because that self-employment tax is a bear. Mm-hmm. Solo agent is just an agent that goes out there and it's up to them to lead generate, lead follow up, set appointments, close their deals, do the transaction management, do the marketing, do all the follow-up, contact all the vendors, set everything up. The solo agent does everything. And I mean everything, compliance, everything. And on a team, like Kayla just said earlier, is that you just get to find your niche and your specialty, and you just get to go for it if you get on the right team. What's nice about a team is you basically, an organized team is that you can just walk in and you've got your path to success is already defined. It's like, you know what you're doing on day one. If you're on a team and you've never done it before, if you're a solo agent, you've never done it before, it's overwhelming and it's crushing. I got into it in 99. Actually, I started in 97. Man. And it was, I joined the team before it was really even a thing. And then what was nice, because then I could just focus on, at the time, like listings and then buyers, and then you just kind of grow from that. So I'm sure you'll have plenty of questions about this, and just feel free to throw them at us.
Yeah. Thanks, Clay. So yeah, to kind of piggyback off of what he said, so KW, Keller Williams, is, like Clay said, the umbrella over solo agents, as well as the teams within KW, which are like mini brokerages within Keller Williams. So like Bernie Real Estate Group, we're a team within KW, and KW is our broker, but we're also a brokerage. And then a solo agent, you can also be under KW. You just be on your own, just trying to figure it all out and closing deals, but having to be in charge of everything, versus on a team, you have someone designated to take care of various aspects of a transaction and what goes on from the very start to the finish.
Mhm.
So again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat box too. Okay, so going into the advantages of joining a team, first and foremost would be leverage. So leverage would be encompassed into about 3 things. So people, systems, and tools. Kind of going off of what we just discussed, like who is going to do it? So on a team, you have someone who takes care of operations, they take care of admin or sales or marketing. You get the right people in place to make sure you're on the right seat on the bus. So real estate agents who are in sales, they typically like to do people-oriented work, meeting with clients in person. On a team, you get to focus on doing that, and then you would have someone else on the team who could take care of like the transaction management portion of it. You just have various people on the team to work with. And then systems, on a team, you already have those in place too. So on our team, I have little pictures here of some of our systems. We have Mojo, we have Brevity as our CRM. We have systems in terms of training and models and processes that are already established that you can kind of just jump into, versus having to create all on your own as a solo agent. Like Clay said, that path of success is already mapped out versus trying to figure out your own systems from scratch. And then again, the tools. So what you'll do it with, the CRM, Brevity, that's something that you have to pay for. Lead gen tools, Mojo, that's something you have to pay for and obtain. Whereas when you're on a team, the benefit is that's all taken care of for you. So as a solo agent, you're going to have all of those expenses, to take care of on your own, versus on a team, it's presented for you as an asset or a tool to be part of the team.
It's available.
Yeah. Does anybody have anything to add on that part?
Yeah, I would say, I'm still relatively new, but the background that I come from, I've worked with different CRMs, I work with a lot of different systems and that kind of stuff. And being able to come in and to be able to just integrate with what is already in place here has been tremendously helpful, because it's time that I'm not wasting on like finding the right tools and testing them out and having to deal with all of that. Like, these are proven, these are working for us, but these were working for you before I joined, and so that was definitely a plus there. And it's great to know that, yeah, we can just plug in and just get to work. We're not wasting time trying to figure out what the process is.
And one of the keys, like the point of having the team, is just so that you can come in and there's a plan for you just to get started and to start making money, even from day one. And it's not a lot in the beginning, but you get the experience, you get the shadow, you get to be around other people that are producing at a high level, and they're like and you're surrounding, you're like, you have good thoughts and good ideas and you're swirling around, and it really just helps you launch your career. I mean, that's what I did like 30 whatever years ago it was, 20 whatever. And these things and all these systems exist with a team. It's not just our team, it's most of the teams have these types of things. But they know how to work them. So they teach you how to do that, how to communicate with people, how to convert leads, like how to get people to trust you and things like that. So that you can just you can start making money. I mean, that's it's not the whole point, but it's one of the main points of this.
Another benefit too, on the leverage topic, or just being on a team, the people aspect of it. So being on the right seat on the bus, me personally, I joined Bernie Real Estate Group 2 years ago. I started out as a transaction coordinator, and it was a great opportunity to learn the real estate business at a foundational level. But we found that my people-oriented personality was probably better suited for sales, talking to people, recruiting, things like that, versus working paperwork and spreadsheets. And so being on a team, you have the opportunity to kind of move to a different seat on the bus. If, let's say, you start out in sales and you realize, hey, I actually really like being in the office environment and being at a desk from 8 to 5. That's great. They can pursue transaction coordination or other avenues of administrative operations work, and vice versa. Let's say you're doing the TC transaction management and you miss being in the field or meeting with clients. There's always an opportunity to pursue what you enjoy doing or to be on the right seat on the bus. So now I'm on the right seat. When I started out, I needed to hop over to a different seat.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, though. I mean, some people just really want to be in real estate, but they don't I mean, it's hard to really understand what that means until you get into it and you're like, oh my gosh, this is like crushing. There's so many things I'm responsible for and have to do, and so many questions and things to manage and all that. And you start to figure out like some things you're really good at, some things you don't like to do. There's a lot of details. There's a lot of like selling. There's a lot of management. I mean, there's just so many different things now. But you can learn like, hey, I'm really good at that. I'm going to go pursue that as a career. And then you just can slide right into it. And then you're happy. That's what the whole point of like doing something that you love is that you're just happy all the time. And that makes a big difference. And if you're in the right spot, there's always income, like, ways to continue to grow and make money and be successful.
Absolutely. The next one. So being on a team, of course, you get great training and support in a different way than you may experience as a solo agent. So on our team, as an example, for your first 30 and 60, 90 days with the team, your training is going to be pretty structured. We'll teach you all of these things, lead generation, time blocking, scripts, and script practice. You'll be able to shadow our agents, how to show property, how to do buyer consultation, buyer tours, meeting with clients, what to say, what not to say, and how to go about it. One-on-one training will teach you how to do open houses, guide you through writing your first offers and contracts and negotiating, going to the inspections, what to look for, how to navigate those tough conversations sometimes. On a team, you have that training and support too. Questions are going to come up. There's things, even though I've been with the team for 2.5 years, every week, if not every day, like there's questions or things come up that I don't know the answer to. And it's such a blessing to be able to reach out to a team member and say, hey, what's the best idea to go about this situation I'm encountering? If you don't know how to do something, someone on the team typically does. Clay's been in real estate for over 20 years now. So he's pretty much been there, done that with a lot of these things. And it's a wonderful resource to have him to go to, as well as Stephanie knows everything about everything. Even just giving Lesley a quick call, or your other teammates, that's really a huge blessing. And it increases confidence too. So in the times where I haven't known how to do something and I call them and just hearing their advice, I suddenly have an internal confidence that I can conquer whatever that task was. even though I may be doing it for the first time, but at least I have their insight and support. So, team, any feedback on that topic? The support you've received, the training with our team?
So when you start, you end up doing a lot of cold calling just to build up your business, and just being able to go to the person next to me and ask them, hey, what could I have said in this situation has been very powerful. That would have stopped me in my tracks for days if I was on my own.
And that's a good point. And it's really like the cold calling, as you call it. It's really about like, when you get in real estate, you got to have a thing for your lead generation. Like do you have a current book of business? Are you starting from scratch because you just moved to the city, which you're hearing a lot right now? But it's to get you in the practice and like setting your foundation for like, how are you going to continue to add new business to your world? And you can either do it through a sphere of influence, through open houses, through cold calling, through knocking on doors. I mean, there's 5 or 6 ways to do it. And as you go, like in our system, as you go through it, you start to earn your way into like, just for lack of a better word, like the circle of trust. We see you're putting in the effort, you've got a good attitude, and you're making improvements, and like you're building your confidence and your in how you present, like, right? And you're starting to understand like the world of real estate. Then you start to get in on some of the leads that come in. You start to get to go out and work with like Lesley and Nathan and John on like showing assistance and like learning, like you get to start earning some money through opening doors or being involved in the transaction itself. And then you kind of earn your way into like, okay, now you have your first qualified buyer. We help that. So like, it's the whole point of it is just like of the cold calling and just everything really is the, I'm sure I'm probably taking some things that Kayla's about to get into. But it's just, you just want to build the habits so that you can like, if you're ever just sitting around like, well, I don't know what to do. Well, then yeah, you do know what to do. You go do your open house or figure out like, call your sphere of influence, your people in your phone, or just hop on the phone like Matthew and John do, and Nathan. Heck, even I do it sometimes. Just start calling people, see if they want to buy or sell real estate. But we hold you accountable to it. Right, Matthew?
Mm-hmm. And just one more example on the support aspect. So last week, I picked up my very first commercial client, and the client is like a regional retailer. I won't mention the name, but it was kind of intimidating because I've never done commercial before, and to me it's kind of like a different world versus residential. The questions that you need to know the answer to, how to navigate showing commercial property versus residential is really different. And so I immediately called Clay, I called Lesley, I called everyone on the team. Josh, and one of the members, Josh, he was like, hey Kayla, like don't worry about it. Let's jump on Zoom and you can kind of run me through each property that you're thinking about showing them, and we can talk about why it may or may not work for them. And after having that little Zoom meeting with him, like I felt so much confidence. And those are daily occurrences on a team that if you reach out, you have that support immediately. So it's really cool.
Yeah, and you're not giving yourself justice. I mean, that you wouldn't have got that referral if you weren't competent, you weren't knowledgeable, and like you didn't have that support system, because it's a big client. It's a big deal for that where you are. Like if you're like a solo agent, like kind of like messing around, like those kind of referrals don't just show up, right? You have to earn those. I mean, and it's not just from a team, that's like from other clients and people that are paying attention to your career.
Mm-hmm. And like if I was a solo agent, I would have been freaking out very hard. And so just to have a team that I can have a quick conversation with is incredible. So that training and support aspect of it is huge.
And so I just have to speak to, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
Is it okay? Okay. So I speak. So I just have to speak to the logistics of being an agent, right? Like I am on the road a lot and showing people, and I do get to just focus on doing that part of my job that I absolutely love. But sometimes quite often, there are times where I'm running from one appointment to the next appointment, but a contract has to get written in between, right? Or like something, comps have to be run or whatever. And so I have the ability to leverage our team to do those things, to call and say, you know, these are the terms of the contract. Can you write that and get that over so that we can win, so we can get that in before anybody else does. We get to win together, right? All of us putting in the effort to help our clients at the highest level.
Mhm.
Agreed.
Well said.
All right, so accountability and encouragement. Our team is big on holding each other accountable to our goals, individual business and personal goals, as well as collective goals. And we encourage each other along the way. So with accountability, you'll have regular one-on-one meetings with your team leader or your supervisor, whoever you directly report to. We have a 411 goal tracking spreadsheet that's pretty in depth and just lines out your annual, monthly, and weekly goals. And we map it out as a team and encourage you and provide accountability to help you achieve those goals. Time blocking, we are really big on time blocking and making sure you're being as efficient as possible with your day. Project list, that could be for a new agent, reaching out to your sphere of influence and just starting that process, little things like that. And making sure we are all following the plan daily and weekly. So new agents in training, everything's kind of mapped out in terms of your first 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days. And we'll check in with you regularly to make sure everything's on track and give you feedback on how you're doing. And then again, achieving individual goals is satisfying and there is that level of satisfaction there. But when you achieve something as a team, that's an even better feeling. I used to be in college, I was on a track and field team at UTSA. And in track, each individual track runner has their certain events that they have to do. And so winning as an individual, that's a wonderful feeling. But if you win a championship as a team, that is like an absolutely incredible experience. And to be able to hug your team members and you all like struggled together or did something together, achieving goals like at the end of the year, annual business goals, that's a really wonderful experience. So
yeah, you get to celebrate together.
yeah.
And when things
Yeah.
are hard, like you get to like, you know, hug it out and then find a solution and go get it. And everybody pitches in.
Mm-hmm. And so, of course, you can go farther and faster together. So it's great to have a team to turn to for accountability and encouragement with your goals. And just having a team of people who are cheering you on as you work towards your goals and a positive group of people in your corner who are genuinely and excited about your success. Nathan, what did you do a couple of weeks ago that was really incredible and you got a medal?
You mean closing on a house?
Okay, Dad.
That's it. That's the goal, baby.
You also accomplished something similar to those little.
Yeah. I also ran the Austin Half Marathon, which was really fun. Yeah, no, it was, and having the 411s, having all the goal tracking, professional and personal, has been, for me at least, very helpful, very motivating. And I never thought I could ever do a half marathon in my life, and because of that, I was able to do it. So that was awesome.
So it's definitely wonderful just to have like a group of people that you can turn to for encouragement and support. And I get excited thinking about what my team members are working towards too. Like Stephanie, She's amazing. She does equestrian riding, which is so cool. And it's exciting to me to think about, like, she has an upcoming, it's not a race, competition, or just something like that. Like, it's really cool to hear about her experiences riding horses, and I'm still learning other members' goals. But it's really cool to support and encourage each other along the way.
Agreed. Well, I have to run out, but it was a pleasure meeting all of you. Best of luck. I'm leaving you all in good hands. So I'll talk to y'all later.
Bye. Go sell a home.
Good luck.
I am. Thank you.
Kayla, we have a question in the chat box. How many individuals comprise the Bernie team?
Oh, wow. Okay, we are growing. So let's see, we have Stephanie, Clay, Kayla, John, Matthew, Nathan, Bailey. Did I say Lesley? 7 or 8?
And
I
Josh.
think. And John. 9. We're on the
Yeah.
cusp of 10. So speaking of goals, collective team goals, one of our goals is to grow as a team. Right now, as we mentioned, we're about a team of 9. We'd like to double in size by the end of the year to be closer to about 18. So that's one of our goals. And we'd love, if any of you guys are interested in chatting more about that, there will be some info on the opportunities to join our team later towards the end of the webinar. Okay, so a lot of people hone in on the advantage of joining a team is the leads and the leads they're going to receive. So that is most definitely an added benefit of being on a team. Inbound leads are provided. I know Clay spends quite a bit of money each month on leads to come in from Google, social media. He stepped out, it seems like, but has a string of companies that he pays for leads for the team. So that's definitely an added benefit. Now with our team in particular, receiving paid leads is something that would be earned after getting through your first 90 days of training. Just like, let's say a lead came in for a new $1 million buyer, we want to make sure that they're in good hands and have gone through a certain amount of training before those types of leads are passed on. And then with that, once the leads do come in, we have the CRM and the database and the system to house all those leads. That's easy access for you to set up like auto plans, to contact them on a particular basis depending on that client's timeline. So again, all those systems and lead management is already established for you. And then there's also outbound lead generation tools. Like Mojo is an incredible tool. I've established so many new relationships on Mojo just doing cold calling, and deals have been closed since I've done inside sales from doing that outbound lead gen. So it's a great tool, and there's definitely never a lack for leads, especially through Google. Our team is, I don't know if we're first or second in terms of Google reviews in the Austin area. So we do get those calls quite a bit. Clay probably could speak to this topic a little bit more. Does anybody else on the team have anything to add? Nope. Okay. So moving on, commission split. So this question always comes up on each webinar. Everybody wants to know, what are the splits versus a solo agent versus a team, and what that looks like. So again, you're gonna pay a little bit of a higher split when you're on a team, simply because you are receiving those leads, the support, the systems, the tools, the models. Again, all those things cost money to continue to provide to all of our team members. And so the split is a little bit lower, but the payout is the support and training and the systems that you have. So that split of 40-60, that's what we would say is common. That's not necessarily, you know, our team split, or I'm not speaking for every team, but just as a common team split, it's probably going to be somewhere around a 60-40 or some variation of 40-60. And then a solo agent, you're going to pay a lower split, but you may receive less support. So again, this is just a common split that you might see as a solo agent, maybe like a 70-30. And the less support being, I've never been a solo agent myself. I've joined Bernie Real Estate Group from the start, but I've heard a lot of solo agents, they just get like a training manual and say, here you go. And they really don't have a team of people to turn to. Lesley, you used to be a solo agent, I think, when you first started out. What was that like?
That was like getting a training manual and trying to do it yourself. I think it was a huge blessing whenever I realized that I no longer had to spend money on my own marketing, trying to figure out avenues of how to, or like Nathan said earlier, what CRM, what systems were going to work best, you know, all of those things. So the time, the money, the mental energy that it takes to start running a successful real estate business was already in place for me. And I didn't have to go broke doing it. So it was just win-win. It didn't matter anymore about the what the splits were, because the amount of transactions that I could do way outmeasured me getting the whole 70%, right? It doesn't measure up.
Yeah, and so
And one of the it's really easy to get caught up in the splits. What you have to think about is, like, unless you have, there's two things to know. One of them is the average like shelf life of a real estate agent from 0 to 2 years is like 90% of you guys, not y'all, but just in general, will fail and not be in the business. And then in 4 years or 5 years, whatever the number is, it's like another, like half of you guys are out again. And it's because, like, you're not getting the systems and the training, and it's a very highly competitive industry right now and forever. It's always has been. And so, like, you can go shop around the splits, and you've got to hold, like, whatever it is that you decide, you've got to hold them accountable. And the higher the split is, the more you're going to have to do. And the more you're going to have to do is directly related to, like, how much business are you going to go get for yourself? So if you've already got like a dynamic sphere of influence, and you've got, like, let's say you've got some builders, you got some investor flippers, and you got a system where you're like, hey, I already know what I'm going to do, then absolutely a solo agent with a high split at a company where you've already got your business and you know how to, like, capitalize on it. You've got experience doing that in pharmaceutical or medical sales or book sales or Gutco or whatever, right? If you've already got all that, then go for it. Like, you're going to do great. But most of us don't, right? We're just like, hey, real estate, I'm going to go do this myself, right? I have no idea how to make money or do whatever I'm going to do. So when you go lace up with a team, like, you've got to believe that they're going to hold you accountable. You've got to believe that they're going to help, like, manage and, like, you know, guide you through this process. And they have a step-by-step. And like, for us, we have, like, multiple people that are, like, interested in your development, in your career development. And it's expensive. So we have to pay for it, but then you get to earn your way in. As you start to produce more, you get a bigger cut of it, right? So there's, like, incentive for you to sell more. And then like with the team, you just want to make sure they have a track record of, like, doing that. And then once you do, and you get in and you jive with all the people, then you're off and running. Like, the splits don't even matter. It's just how often are you cashing your checks. Of course, nowadays you just look online and see they got wired in. It's not quite as fun. But I mean, you know, you're just like, you're rolling. When you get on a roll, man, it's hard to stop.
Yeah, and as a solo agent, you may have higher splits, but then maybe you're doing less transactions. And if you're going to sell only a handful of homes a year in comparison to a team where you have these leads coming in, the support, the training, and your amount of transactions goes way up, and then it all buffs out and you can still make six figures if you're not so caught up on the split portion of all this.
Yeah, you'll definitely make six figures.
Yes.
As long as you consistently do the work, it's no problem.
So,
Yep.
Kayla, we have a question in the chat box to clarify. To confirm, on a team, the 40% goes to the sales agent and the 60% to a team?
yes. Again, that's just common, a common percentage, not necessarily what our team does or speaking for others. That's just like a generality and average, but yes. Is that it? Is that the only question? Oh, okay, great. So moving on, success through others. So when you're on a team, we empower you to become better agents so you can make money and achieve greater levels of success. As Clay shared a little while ago, it's reported that 87% of all new agents fail after 5 years in the industry, and only 13% make it. Agents don't leave the industry because they made too much money. They leave because they didn't make any. And a major reason why real estate agents fail is because they are not willing to put in the work. If you want to be successful, you have to be prepared to work long and odd hours. From the recruiting standpoint, just to have full disclosure and transparency, many people say, oh, I want to get into real estate because it's flexible. And it's so flexible and I really need that. And okay, but with that, you have to know real estate does not sleep. It's very demanding. So on your weekends, that's when clients are available to go view property and do showings or meet in person for listing appointments. You may be busy all day Saturday and Sunday and have your random day off on a Thursday or a Tuesday. If a lead comes in at 8:30 at night, the expectation would be that you would answer that and get it, especially in the competitive market that Austin is in. So again, yes, there is flexibility in the sense that there's variety in your day. You know, you are out in the field and you're out and about, but at the same time, the flexibility definitely is the case because you have to be flexible to work weekends and evenings too.
And that comes down to like, what do you want? I mean, if you want to make the six-figure income and you want to buy investment properties and stuff like that, you got to work your tail off. But if you just want to supplement a lifestyle and you only want to do a little bit here and there, then you don't have to do, you can have a flexible schedule. I'll tell you, in Austin, there's 15,000 other agents. You know, at least 10% of them know that it takes, I don't know, I mean, how many times would you go make your offers, Lesley? Are you in competing offers, and how many of those part-time agents aren't really sure about what's going on when?
Regularly. I regularly have other people reach out to me trying to figure out why they're not winning or why. And a lot of times I've shared this with a lot of people. A lot of times we win offers because we're the last ones awake, right? Like, you're the last one checking in at night to see what's going on and is there any update, and does it, you know, you're doing, honestly, doing the best for your client means doing the best that you can. So flexibility is that it has a lot to do with how you see that, right? You do have a flexible schedule, but it's flexible based on when everybody else is available. Not really when you're available.
It's a lot of hustle.
But it's fun too. It's hustle, but it is fun.
Rewarding.
It is a lot of fun.
All right. And again, you get to do what you love when you're on a team. You don't necessarily have to do every single component of the transaction from start to finish. Being on a team allows you to focus on your strengths and what you really love to do. So most real estate agents, because it's a sales career, they're typically people oriented. They get energy from meeting with clients, working with other people. They typically don't like doing administrative work and the contracts and the Excel spreadsheets and all those fun things. They like to be out in the field, and they have variety in their work and their day. Every day is different. When you're on a team, again, it allows you to go and close deals and meet with clients and show property. And then you have a designated member of your team who takes care of the admin for you and takes care of the transaction coordination for you. On our team, you can have complete trust that that will be done at the highest level. Stephanie is absolutely amazing. And you don't have to worry about that when you're on a team. You just get to do sales versus when you're a solo agent, you have to do all of it, work hand in hand with the lenders, with the title companies, with contractors, vendors, the home inspectors. I know I'm missing probably other elements that are tied into real estate. And it's a lot. And so when you're on a team, you're able to focus on what you love to do. I'm sure there's people who do enjoy doing aspects of both the administrative work and sales. They maybe like to have more control over the entirety of the transaction, which in that case would be a great fit for a solo agent. But if you have trust in another member of the team taking care of the contracts for you and things, other elements, a team would be a great choice. Team, do you have any comments on that section?
So many comments. I have so many comments. That is a huge advantage. Like I mentioned earlier, there is so much time that gets spent dealing with checking. No one wants to do their job effectively or efficiently outside of our office. I believe that because there is with lenders, with appraisers, with inspectors, with the whole industry moves at their own pace. And so every morning, Stephanie is our bulldog, man. She is in there talking to them, pushing them, constant. It is hours worth of time where I have moved on. I have moved on and talked with several other clients. We've planned out our day. We're able to move on and move forward. Where if I was on my own, that is not optional. These are people that are under contract, and I have already made promises to, right? So I would have to literally shut down all of my lead generating in order to take care of these people. And I don't have to. I don't have to do that. The only time I ever get involved again is like if I have to be mean to somebody. That's it. That's the only other time. It's so nice. Such a privilege to be able to work with people that are excited to serve people at a high level like that and keep things in line and on time.
It allows the agents to increase production and close more deals, get more contracts, write more offers because you're meeting with people, showing property, and you're not bogged down by the little things that end up taking the most time a lot of times.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes. So again, being on a team, at the end of the day, it's fun. If you achieved your goal, the team will celebrate your success. If we achieved a goal as a team, then we'll celebrate that collectively. That's a little picture there of all of us at Topgolf. We are celebrating a great Q1 of 2021, which how many transactions and how much did we close for Q1, Clay, by the way?
I don't remember the numbers. Right now we're like at 67. I mean, the team, we have 4 agents, and the ops, we're at like 67 so far for the year, and a little, like just under 35 million. So, well, I mean, we're on track to do, I don't want to say a couple hundred because something will happen, but we're on track. And honestly, guys, we need help. So,
Yeah.
it's another reason why we're here.
We did. We had a successful Q1 though. I believe it was around 48, 47 transactions closed and around 22 million, if I remember correctly.
Okay, for the first quarter, yeah.
That's about right.
And so we are not going to the foot off the gas, and we're just going to keep going. That way we can have a successful year. We have big goals there in terms of transactions that we would like to close too. And then on the other end of the spectrum, if you're struggling with something, if your heart is heavy or you need more training on something, the team is there for you and supports you. So that's a wonderful element of it too. We're like a family in a way, there for you in the good times and the bad times. And then again, it's just fun to go through a real estate journey with other people and a successful team, all aiming towards the same goals. These are like-minded individuals with integrity, all pretty intelligent, motivated, and driven towards success and achieving goals together, and team-oriented as well. And so you'll make great memories along the way. So that other little picture is Clay and Stephanie and myself and Lesley at Bernie's Joy Drive. It's one of our community relation outreach programs that we do. And little memories like that will always, you'll be able to cherish and have incredible experience. The experience that I've had over the past 2.5 years is invaluable. The fruit of our labor aside, the experience and what I've learned. When I started, I knew nothing about real estate, and now I've worn so many hats that I've learned so much along the way. So overall, it's really fun working with a team versus on your own. It might get a little lonely, I don't know, but especially depends on your personality. I don't know what y'all's backgrounds are, but like being in sports or just always having an element of team in business, it's nice to have a group of people that are in your corner. So it's pretty fun. Do y'all agree that it's fun for your real estate group?
Absolutely.
Yes. Birthdays are fun.
I have a good question that just popped up. Who can I contact one-on-one to discuss further?
Yes, that would be me. I will have my little contact info at the very end during the Q&A session. So,
you can find us at the Bernie-Careers. You can go in and set an appointment with Kayla on her calendar as well.
And it's great. I love it. It's so much fun when they all have birthdays. I know all their favorite candies. I know all their favorite snacks, and I blow them up with that on their birthdays. So it's just fun. It's just fun. Ooh, okay. And so the fun part, a day in the life of an agent on our team. Nathan Shaw, he already sold his first home. He's only been with the team for like 2 months. And he was going to share a day in the life, but he's out showing property right now. So that's just a proof.
Well, he sold his first home like through the system. I mean, yeah. And which is really cool because you get into real estate, everyone has like a family, like a brother or sister or mom or something like, hey, I want to buy a house, go get your license. Like that seems to be, that's an MO for a lot of people. We've met them. But like when you get in and you work the system and you do it so quickly, and then he's got some other offers out there as well, and he's working with Lesley on the showing assistant, like shadow stuff too, because he wants to build up his pipeline and start his own buyer club. That's what I call him, like buyer team. But like, it's just super cool to see like that, like a lead came in, converted it, went through the process, went through the showings, made some offers. These days you have to make some offers to get one, generally. And then like educating the client. And then he got this review from this client. It's like, I had this most amazing experience with Nathan. And they said all these gushing things about him on Google. And like, it's so validating for us and for him and for everybody involved, just to see like that work pays off, and then to see like it happens quickly. So he's already off and running, and like John and Matthew are on their way also. And y'all, Lesley, like, she's been with us for a little over a year, but she just got into like the buyer side of things in August, and she's already like well over $10 million in volume. Just crushing it, because that's what she wants to do. And so like, as long as like you want to do it and you're willing to make the commitment and put in the time to do it, then it's like that opportunity for you is wide open. But just so you know, if you want to make a couple $100,000 in real estate, you're going to work.
It is a hustle.
That's always my like disclaimer to things. It's not easy. It's simple. The process is simple, but it's going to test like your stamina for time. And the reason, one of the things that we talk about in our goal setting and our accountability that we do like once, twice a week is like, when are you resting your brain? When are you filling your cup up with your family and your friends? Like, you have to pay attention to those kind of things. You have to be really intentional about it, because this will consume you. You get so addicted to like the victory and like the hardcore like hustle and everything else like that. It's fun, but you got it. Like, you have to fill your cup up. And so we help you with that also. And most of the time it works.
Yeah, it does. And I think one of the things that I neglected to say earlier is that I think one of my favorite things is that whenever things are crazy and they are just super busy, everybody does stop me, and like, whoa, when was the last time you ate? When was the last time, and like, there is a true like caring. No, y'all feed me way better than that. But it like, there's a genuine caring that happens, right? Like, as we're successful together. Either we make it together or we don't, right? So it's an incredible experience being a part of this team. I don't know the experience on every team, but this one's amazing.
Tell us
we are paying her to say that.
You are the best. Yeah. And tell us a little bit about a day in the life of your hustle as an agent. Like, what is your day?
Okay.
They're all different. What's an average?
Yeah. So, and initially, it was just me, right? So I'm in the middle of kind of a transition time right now. But my day is broken down into the morning being really for like follow up from the night before, and then lead generating. 2 or 3 hours of lead generating in the morning. Nothing gets in the middle of that. That is something that, coming out of the ISA role, it may not have been the right role for me, but it did create a passion inside of me to talk to people that I don't know, to follow up with people, to build a relationship and nurture those things. So that there's a huge chunk of my day that gets spent just lead generating and filling that pipeline. And that's something that will last me the rest of my career, right? And then the rest of my day is broken down like into training, going back and negotiating deals and checking emails and doing all of that kind of stuff, and then appointments the rest of the day. So that is it. It's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple day, but it is wild. It's a wild day. So you never know from one day to the next, what any of those things are going to look like. But Yeah, and then training these new agents as they're coming on to do the same thing. Lead generation has to be a huge part of your day. And then emails, calls, negotiating contracts, and appointments. Being out there meeting people.
Yeah, I typically share that, like, ideally for an agent, like you said, a few hours at least in the morning doing lead gen or taking care of business, emails, calls, and that could be flip-flopped in the afternoon versus morning. But if you have a successful lead generation, then in the afternoon you're in the field and you're going on appointments and you're showing property. That's the goal, is to be out and about closing deals and meeting with people. The lead gen component is extremely important. Otherwise, how are you going to go out and about and meet with clients if you don't set appointments for yourself? So
yep,
that's kind of what I share. It's like half, and it can be flip-flops depending on your client's needs. Sometimes the lead gen
sure,
in the afternoon or early evening.
yeah,
But
Yeah, you just have to be committed to that, because you're building up your pipeline and your book of business. One of the things when you were talking about training, Lesley, is like that's also like you're practicing your presentation, you're practicing your down tones, like how you speak, the words that you use, you're practicing like your posture. I mean, all those things that like give you that difference, because remember, this is a very competitive field. So when you walk in and you're in the presence of somebody and you're asking them to like trust you, there's a lot of the like mirror matching body language and all these things that you learn how to do, and you get to practice that, and you get valuable feedback from Kayla, from Lesley, me, Nathan, John, all these people just like, hey, I saw this, tweet that, great job here. You did, like, you're just getting that constant feedback so that as a professional in your career, you can continue to grow and grow and grow. So like my friend Tony Robbins always says, like the point of like, you're always going to have problems, right? No matter what's going on in life, you're just going to have some set of problems. And like wherever you are at that moment, those problems kind of indicate the kind of life you have. So if you keep working on these things, then you're just going to start to get different problems, like complicated or worried about like the smell of the leather in your new car or whatever it is, like that problem. Like and so you just want to, that's a silly thing to say, but like you're just trying to elevate what your problems and the things that you focus on, right? So how can I tweak this and things like that? And so that's part of the practice. That was a weird rabbit hole to go down, but like part of the lead gen, lead follow-up, practice, close deals, set appointments, that like you have to focus on that every day. Like what are you doing to improve your life and your situation, your personal situation, and your professional situation every single day? And in our team, that's like it's really important for us to be talking about that.
yeah. You have to work in the business and on the business every day.
That's right. We have another good question that popped up in the chat box. This one is for Matthew. Since you're the newest member on the team, can you describe what your average day looks like this week?
Lead gen.
Hey, who let you out of the cage? I'm kidding.
Yeah, and just getting in touch with my sphere of influence, everybody that I've really ever met in my life before, sending them letters, texts, emails, calls, just getting in touch, letting people know I'm out here doing business.
And the sphere of influence project that our team has in place, it's really valuable, and I've shared with Matthew on his very first day. The second transaction that I did came from an individual that I went to 5th grade with, that I haven't spoken to in 20 years, but he found out I was in real estate and reached out and purchased property. My first transaction was a coworker that I worked with 5 years ago. Like you never know that touch point of reaching out to people that you've known, whether it's years ago or recent, or people that your family or friends know that you should know. Like reaching out to people is super important, because you never know where that it could lead to new business for you and new relationships. So that's part of our new agents training and doing a bunch of lead gen. Our team always, not always, but we have a tendency to share that you become a product of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And that's why we are a little bit choosy with who we bring onto the team because we want to make sure, you know, the integrity is there, the honesty is there, the work ethic is there, because you do end up becoming a product of who you surround yourself with. So
You can't poison the well.
positive, optimistic attitude, learning based, having an eager mindset to learn new things and to work hard. These are just like some of the basic elements that we look for in new team members, because it's important, because you work with these people constantly when you're either with them or you're on the phone with them or you're texting, like when you're on a team. Those energy, like that energy and experience translates to one another. So we are a little picky in that way, to make sure we have the great minds that are like-minded join the team.
So, you know.
And let's see, do any of y'all have like personal experiences or benefits that you've received from being a part of Bernie Real Estate Group, or if any of you guys participating, if you've been a solo agent before, what challenges have you faced? Does anyone have any comments? And you guys can unmute yourselves during this part too, by the way. Anyone out there in the webinar world? Anyone?
I have a question.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Holly. My question was, how are you guys doing stuff right now when you're talking about the lead generations in the morning? Like, do you guys have an office, or how is things going right now with as far as COVID goes? Do you guys have somewhere stationary where you guys go and meet at, or?
Yes, we are in the office. We're not in the office right this minute. But well, Matthew is. He's there. But yes, we are in there every day.
Okay, good. I need that kind of structure. I cannot sit on my couch and do stuff.
Yeah, it's really helpful. And we do we kind of, and since we're like growing, we only have so much space. We're rotating people in, like we're figuring that out. But we recognize, especially in the early part when we're trying, there's that word, try, when we're establishing a foundation and setting habits and things like that, like you got to come in. The earlier the better. Nathan literally will get there at like 7:45 and be on the phone hustling before our 8:30 meeting. And that's like, I mean, and that's just the commitment it takes. You got to remember, this is super competitive. Anytime you want to make like over 80 grand a year, 100 grand, whatever, like it's competitive, you know? And it's like, and generally the competition is between yourself. But.
Yeah, our team, we have a couple of really nice office areas in the Keller Williams Southwest Market Center. So it's off of South Mopac and Spyglass, near there's a Barton Mall. There's the Barton Creek Greenbelt entrance is like right down the hill. So if you love hiking and
yeah, okay, I know where that's at.
By Taco Deli there too. So it's a nice spot.
Kayla, if you want to hike during the day in your time off,
it is
leisure.
So cool. I think it is that if you wanted to like go for a hike or a run right after work, just change, and the Greenbelt is literally right there. And obviously in the city, everything's connected, so you could run to, what's it called, Town Lake or Ladybird Lake Trail, one of those trails. It's all connected and really cool. So it's a nice area. Lesley, when you were a solo agent, what challenges did you experience?
All of them.
And why did you transition to a team after being a solo agent? Why did you join a team versus being on your own?
Yeah, so I have always been very driven, right? And knew that I was absolutely capable of doing something. But whenever I did this, I did not realize just the magnitude of things that were going to need to be in place every day. And so, and again, like Clay says, if you have an incredible book of business and you already have all those things going for you, then wonderful. If you are a regular person, then that is a huge challenge. And it is a huge challenge to, just like I spoke to a little while ago, getting up and making sure that all of the things are in line for just one transaction, much less, 5 or 6 transactions, and you're dealing with 6 different lenders and 6 different title companies and 6 different, all of those things. There is not enough hours in the day to make all of that happen and still be able to sustain a business moving forward, right? If you have to tell a client, you're gonna have to wait me out for 2 weeks until I can clear all this other stuff up. No, your best friend's not gonna wait for you. Okay. Whenever somebody's ready to go buy a house, they're ready to go buy a house. That's it. They love you and everything, but they're not going to wait for you. So, there are challenges on every level as far as being on your own. And I think you said a little while ago, like the isolation of all of it, that's real, right? Getting to come into the office every day and being motivated and pushed and held accountable by people that truly care about you and care about your success is invaluable. There are days when I don't want to do this, but there is so much encouragement but you actually do. And I actually do want to do this, right? I just having an off day, and they don't let me slide on that. And
Off day.
That's just an incredible, an off day. Yeah. Just a little off day, getting phone calls like, where's your headspace today? How are you? What's going on? So yeah, for me, it was a perfect fit, and it was something, meeting them for the first time, I was like, I found my people. I knew.
Yeah, you came in
right?
with a business plan. That was awesome.
Yes, I was ready to go. And that's the thing. You can be so ready to go and literally go nowhere, right? So having all those systems in place and a plan in place and people to tell you just trust the system, trust it and walk through it. It obviously is, there's a huge financial payoff, right? That's incredible. But like, a lot of cups get filled. A lot of things inside of you get filled up. Again, being part of this team, don't know about all of them, but I'm sure there's other great situations.
Thanks, Lesley. For me, just being on the team, the biggest benefit, I would say, not only do you gain people who are very close to your heart and who are like kind of doing life with you in a way as you're working, and making sure that everything's going well personally too, mentally, emotionally, like we want to make sure all of that is in a good space, not only business wise, but I would say the experience. I've learned so much in 2.5 years and given the opportunity to learn aspects of operations and sales and inside sales, recruiting, all these elements of business that I previously may have just dipped into, but not really gone all in before. And I've just learned so much that I think is way more valuable than any number could be or dollar sign. And it's been really fun and a lot of great memories. So super grateful. And so now, rounding it out. Just figuring out if a team is right for you. Gene Rivers, I did a webinar with him. He's very high and well known in KW, he said yesterday during the webinar that no one is good at everything. And it's true. I mean, we all have strengths and we all have weaknesses, and being on a team, you're able to play against each other's strengths and weaknesses, and ultimately the unit is stronger because of that, and allows you to focus on what you love to do, and the other members of the team focus on their strengths and what they love to do, and ultimately it's a win-win for everyone. And we get to win together, win at big goals and win at helping people, impacting other people's lives. So it's wonderful. And now, thank you so much for joining our webinar. And do you guys have any questions for us that you'd like to vocalize or put in the chat box?
There are a few questions in the chat box if you're ready for them. The first one is directed to John. You are newish to the team as well. What kind of work did you do before choosing to move into real estate, and how has the Bernie team supported your transition into this profession?
Ooh.
Oh, I was just about to hit send on a text reply, but I'll go ahead and speak to it here. So starts with a laugh because I actually started out my career as a fashion photographer up in New York City. But I ended up going into working in the intelligence community for a while, and I parlayed that into fraud investigations role in the private sector. But the company I was at before, companies I've worked for in the past, it seemed the harder I worked, the less I got at the end of the day for my effort. So that's why I jumped over to the sales role. I want my hard work to translate into dollars in my pocket. Bernie's been great. Like Clay said before, it's really not difficult what you have to do to be successful in this industry. It's, are you willing to put in the time and the effort? And this team's been great at giving me the tools I need to go out there, hit the ground running, and then hold me accountable every step of the way to make sure that I am going to be successful so I can help contribute to the success of the team.
Awesome. Thank you, John. We've got a question from Maria. Do sales agents pay fees in addition to the commission split?
Clay, I'll let you answer that one.
Yeah, you sure do. And it just depends on where you go. But there's always a transaction fee, and you got to pay for your broker fees, and you got to pay your own utility bills and your phone bills and your car bills. It just depends.
It depends on the
yeah.
And from Julia, how do you determine profit share?
Ooh, good question.
What is with respect to what? Are you still on here, Julia?
I don't think Julia's on the webinar anymore.
Yeah, I don't even.
Profit share. Oh, Clay just
awesome. No.
That's you
this
can
is fun.
About that during your interview process, and I would encourage you to reach out to me. That's my email address. If anybody would like to chat further about the opportunities available to join our team. So we'd love to help you achieve your goals.
Hey guys, I just want to say thank you very much for this awesome webinar. I thought the energy between you is really obvious, and it's something that I'm craving in my life. I think, you know, I met with Lesley a little over a month ago, and it was a brief interaction, but really wonderful to see everyone else and kind of just to hear it and to know that you guys took time out of your day, like to kind of share with perfect strangers. I think that that says a lot about what you guys are looking for, and I look forward to talking with you, Kayla, some more in the near future. So
awesome.
We'll shoot you an email.
Sounds good. Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Rock and roll.
Any other questions? Is that it? We're ready for more. No.
I have one question. Do new agents receive any sort of kind of base salary during the 90-day training period, since they're more than likely they may or may not be making any commissions?
During training, there's no base salary during your first 90 days. So you'd want to be prepared for that jumping into real estate. Most real estate agent positions don't have the base, so it may take a while for the transaction to roll in. So just want to be prepared for that. Have a little bit of savings.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Just making sure.
Sure, great question. Any other questions?
I'll shoot one more question at you guys. So I'd like to know, it's really interesting to see such a kind of like congealed, passionate team working together, and to hear that you are also like short new members. So I guess my question would be like, how big is the team? And you guys are, I mean, it's clear to me that you would easily pull in, you know, new agents quite frequently. So what is going on? Are you guys just growing? Is this a new thing? Are agents at a certain point decide that they want to break away from the team? What's the kind of consensus there?
Well, so I think we mentioned.
I love that question.
That's a great question. I think we have about 9 members of the team right now, on the team right now, and our collective goal is by the end of the year to double that. So to be a team of around 18 or so. And as I mentioned, we want to make sure it's a right fit. So when we speak to new agents, again, like that, it's a match, a cultural match, integrity, honesty, all those elements are there. And the longevity really depends on the agent and whether, because like we said, it's not easy. Real estate is not an easy field to jump into. It's a lot of hard work. And so if that agent is willing to stick it out in the real estate industry, then they'll be fruitful. But it is kind of a newer venture for us to grow at a more rapid rate, I would say. Clay, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, we go through these like fits and spurts or something like that, whatever that is. Of like, we want to bring a bunch of people in and we'll just see like what happens. And like, we find out culturally, like it does matter to us, like who the people are. And then like, it also matters to us, like, we want to be around these people and they want to be around us and all that. And like, we literally have hired like 2 or 3 people in the last couple of months. They didn't even make it past like the first 2 weeks. And it's not like we're over demanding. They just like, I've had people like, they want to learn how to sell houses. And I've asked them just to drive around with me and they can fall asleep in the back seat. Right. Well, I have clients in the front and we're learning about all these things. So like people can interview really well and we can talk about stuff. We can get really excited. But when it comes down to like, you know, the rubber meets the road, like some people just like, they're not prepared for it. Because it's pretty intense. Once you get into the swing of things, or you're like, it's not intense, like it's like painful. It's just like, oh my God, I went from like being on the floor at Lululemon to now I'm like, I got to put a database together. I got to write thank you notes. I got to write, you know, tell people I'm thankful for them. I got to go show houses. I got to do it on Saturday morning. I got to do it on Wednesday night. I got to do all these things. And like, you get out of a schedule and you get into like this whole new world. And some people, it's just really disruptive. Like it's just too much.
Yeah.
Really and we really can't like change our parameters for people like that, because then it slows us all down. And right now, slow is not what we're looking for ever, actually.
And also too, it just, an element of trust is being established in those first few weeks, first couple of months. Because as Lesley mentioned, a lot of times on a team, you count on each other to take care of certain elements of a transaction, or whether it's helping Lesley while you're in training, if she gives you a call to do comps, that you trust that you would do that to the best of your ability. We trust that Stephanie has the transaction coordination 110 million% taken care of. She's so incredible. So if someone, your supervisor, asks you to do something and you don't do it, and then you don't do it again the next day, and then you don't do it again the next week, that is going to impact the level of trust, and then ultimately it just wouldn't be a good working relationship. So just to have full disclosure with you, a lot of times you just have to figure out whether it's a good fit in those first few months for both parties. Again, real estate is a constant hustle, and you have to be ready to work hard. And a lot of people are jumping into real estate right now, not really realizing the level of work that goes into it too. So it's kind of an eye opener for some people that jump into it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, the way that you guys presented the team at first, I was like, how many people are on this team? Like 20, 60? Like, am I just gonna be like another minnow underneath like this power grid? And I just have to say, it's like very reassuring for me to hear you guys say that the team is consisting of 9 people, you know, 2 weeks after 3 of them were hired. You know, he's sleeping on the job, essentially. He can't really, it's not gonna work. I'm very intrigued and I'm very interested in this team. I think you guys have such a cool dynamic. So thank you so much for this webinar. I've actually got to bounce, but Kayla, I'll be sending you an email shortly, okay?
Wonderful, that sounds great. Thank you so much, Ryan. Have a great day.
Yeah, any of you that want to have get further into this, let me know. Let us know.
Stephanie, are there any more chat box questions?
Nope, that was all of them.
Hey, Yannicka, if you want to talk, just call us and we can talk about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I sent her a direct message too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Yep. Awesome.
Peace
Thank
out.
you so much for joining our webinar. Have a great
Hi,
evening.
y'all.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.